What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good night or whatever time it is where you are. Today I'm going to talk about stretch-mediated hypertrophy, which is a thing that a lot of people, especially those at the tip of the iceberg in the gym community, obsess about, especially followers of Jeff Nippard, Mike Israetel, Milo Wolf, and the likes. I'm going to start by saying that your muscles are comprised of motor units, and these motor units are comprised of muscle fibers and the motor neurons which activate them, which fire them. Okay, you also have to understand that we have the all or nothing principle. A motor neuron, in a motor neuron, either all of the muscle fibers in it are active or none. You also have to understand, well, that's it. There's more things I could talk about, as in type 1 or type 2 muscle fibers, motor unit recruitment. That's for another video. Okay, going further into the anatomy of your muscles, in the muscle fiber, right? Muscle fiber is composed of myofibrils. Okay, in these myofibrils, we have sarcomeres. Remember, your muscles kind of run like this, along your muscle. Okay, like this. Okay, and in your sarcomeres, right, which are in your myofibrils, are these contractile units in the muscle. Think of this as one muscle. Think one muscle fiber right here, right? Think of a piece of spaghetti, and then think about breaking that piece of spaghetti into 20 different parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those little parts are your sarcomeres. Okay. Now, as a beginner, you don't have sarcomeres. Your sarcomere count isn't maxed out. Okay. The length of the muscle isn't maxed out. Usually, as a beginner, okay? So, you do experience stretch-mediated hypertrophy in all muscles as a beginner. But past the beginner stage, in terms of sarcomere growth, you just don't experience stretch-mediated hypertrophy in muscles other than the quads, hamstrings, chest, and glutes, right? Because the sarcomere count is maxed out. By the way, this usually happens very quickly, or within a few months at the most. Now, what we need for a muscle to experience stretch-mediated hypertrophy, quads, hamstrings, those muscles, is we need it to be on the descending limb of the length-tension relationship. We need for the sarcomeres to be stretched past a certain threshold, which is going to stimulate passive mechanical tension and cause sarcomerogenesis, the addition of new sarcomeres in series, which is going to cause the muscle to get longer, filled out. Fascicle length is going to increase. I also want to mention that when you stretch a muscle, you are allowing for the calcium ion channels to be opened up, allowing for more calcium ion influx and more calcium ion related damage, right? More fatigue and more muscle swelling, okay? Inflammation, which is why some studies, like the study comparing training the biceps with an extended shoulder versus an anatomical position, I think it was, or with a little bit of shoulder flexion, didn't show a lot of difference, right? They showed basically no statistically significant difference, because they used an MRI, I think it was, to measure the amount of growth, which isn't a great choice when you have muscles, when you have experiments involving muscles training at longer muscle lengths, because of the muscle swelling from the calcium ion influx. Okay, so I think that, remember in the study, there was a trend for more growth in the Bayesian curls with the shoulder extended. Okay, I think that's because of the muscle swelling because of the calcium ion influx. I hope I worded that correctly, sorry. So yeah, that's another thing related to the stretch that you need to be aware about when comparing exercises and studies. Hope this helps. Next video is going to be about motor unit recruitment